Hey guys, it's Tay, and today I'm going to show off one of my rainbow magic books, Ruby the Red Fairy, and we're going to read one chapter.
Are you videoing?
Let's read one chapter. The End of the Rainbow. Look, Dad, said Rachel Walker. She pointed across the blue-green sea at the rocky island ahead of them. The ferry was sailing towards it, dipping up and down on the rolling waves. Is that Rainbow Island? She asked. Her dad nodded. Yes, it is, he said, smiling. Our holiday is about to begin. Here's the first picture. Oop. This is the first picture. The waves slapped against the side of the ferry as it bobbled up and down underwater. Rachel felt her heart thump with excitement. She could see white cliffs and emerald green fields, beaches, and golden sandy beaches with rock pools dotted here and there. Suddenly, a few fat raindrops plopped down onto Rachel's head. Oh, she gasped, surprised. The sun was still shining. Rachel's mum grabbed her hand. Let's get under the cover, she said, leading Rachel inside. Isn't that strange? Rachel said. Sunshine and rain. Let's hope the rain stops before we get off the ferry. Now, where did I put that map of the island? Rachel looked out of her eyes. Rachel looked out of the window. Her eyes opened wide. A girl was standing alone on the deck. Her dark hair was wet with raindrops, but she didn't seem to care. She just stared up at the sky. Sorry if I'm making mistakes, but don't judge me or worry. Rachel looked over at her mum and dad. They were busy studying the map, so Rachel slipped back outside to see what was so interesting. And there it was. Can you guess what it is? Write it down in the comments. In the blue sky high above them was the most amazing rainbow that Rachel had ever seen. Sorry about the mistakes. Please don't judge me or make me worried. One end of the rainbow was far out to sea. The other seemed to fall somewhere on Rainbow Island. All the colours were bright and clear. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo and violet. That's amazing. Isn't it perfect? The dark-haired girl whispered to Rachel. Yes, it is, Rachel agreed. Are you going to Rainsville on holiday? The girl nodded. We're staying for a week, she said. I'm Kirsty Tate. Rachel smiled as the rain began to stop. I'm Rachel Walker, she said. We're staying at Mermaid Cottage, she added. And we're at Dolphin Cottage, she said. Kirsty. And we're at Dolphin Cottage, said Kirsty. Do you think we might be near each other? I hope so, Rachel replied. She had a feeling she was going to like Kirsty. Kirsty leaned over the rail and looked down to the shimmering water. The sea looks really deep, doesn't it? She said. There might even be mermaids down there watching us right now. Next, Rachel stared at the waves. She saw something that made her heart skip a beat. Why would her heart skip a beat? Look, she said. Is that a mermaid's hair? Then she laughed when she saw that it was just seaweed. It could be a mermaid's necklace, said Kirsty, smiling. Maybe she lost it when she was trying to escape from a sea monster. Wow. But I don't know if mermaids exist. But hopefully they exist in the story. Can you see that face? The face is right here. The ferry was now sailing into Rainspell's tiny harbour. Around them, and fishing boats bobbled on the water. Look at that big white cliff over there. Kirsty said. She pointed. It's out to Rachel. It looks like a giant's face, doesn't it? Rachel looked and nodded. Kirsty seemed to smile and see the magic everywhere. The giant's face, eyes, mouth. Next page. There you are, Rachel, called Mrs. Walker. Rachel turned round and saw her mum and dad coming out on the deck. We'll be getting off the ferry in a few minutes, Mrs. Walker added. Mum, Dad, this is Kirsty, Rachel said. She's staying at Dolphin Cottage. That's right next door to ours, said Mrs. Walker. I remember seeing it on the map. Rachel and Kirsty looked at each other in delight. I'd better go and find my mum and dad, said Kirsty. She looked around. Oh, here they are. Next page. Kirsty's mum and dad came over to say hello to the Walkers. Then the ferry docked and everyone began to leave the boat. Our cottages are on the other side of the harbour, said Rachel's dad, looking at the map. It's not far, Mermaid Cottage and Dolphin Cottage. Mermaid Cottage and Dolphin Cottage were right next to the beach. Rachel loved her bedroom, which was high up in the attic. From the window, she could see the waves rolling onto the sand. Hey, don't look at me like that, Paige. A shout from outside made her look down. It was Kirsty. She was standing under the window, waving at her. Let's go! And explore the beach, Kirsty called. Rachel dashed outside to join her, like this. Claire. Oh, I knocked my book. Seaweed laid in piles on the sand, and there were tiny pink and white shells dotted about. I love it here already, Rachel shouted happily above the noise of the seagulls. Me too, Kirsty said. She pointed up at the sky. Look, the rainbow's still there, Rachel looked up. The rainbow glowed brightly among the fluffy white clouds. Additive. Let me just check. Oh, I'm nearly with 1, 2, 3, 4 pages away. 5, because the 5th one is the chapter. Have you heard the story about a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Kirsty asked. Rachel nodded. Yes, but that's just in fairy stories, she said. Kirsty grinned. Maybe, but let's go! And, okay, we know. But maybe, but let's go and find out for ourselves. Okay, Rachel agreed. We can explore the island at the same time. They rushed back to tell their parents where they were going, and Kirsty settled off a lane behind the cottages. It led them away from the beach across the green fields and towards a small wood. Final 2 more pages. Rachel kept looking up at the rainbow. She was worried that it would start to fade now that the colours stayed clear and bright. Oh wait, sorry. She was worried that it would start to fade now that the rain had stopped, but the colours stayed clear and bright. That's more like it. Please don't judge me that I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. It looks like the end of the rainbow is over here, Kirsty said. Come on! And she hurried towards the trees. The wood was cool and green after the heart of the sun. The wood was cool and green after the heat of the sun. Please don't judge me. Rachel and Kirsty followed a winding path until they came to a clearing. Then they both stopped instead. The rainbow shone down onto the grass through a gap in the trees, and there was the end of the rainbow's end laid an old black pot. Hope you all enjoyed. I will read another chapter. There may be so many videos.